All right, so let's try to understand the concept of torque because it is pretty important to understand torque because we have different types of motions, and so far we have been talking about the translational motion. We actually talked a little bit about the circular motion, but so far we have been all our physics was focused towards the translational motion. Torque is the study of the rotational motion of something. Whenever we apply a force and it causes some rotational motion, then the torque is up, involved. So torque is nothing different than any force that causes rotational motion in something. So let's actually start with an example. So we can actually have an example of a door. So this is the door hinge, and then we have a door, for example, like this, and the door knob is here, and then that's how the door actually opens. And if you want to open the door, you can swing it open by applying some force in that direction, so it opens up right like that, right? So you can observe that, or you can just try to experiment it yourself. That if you apply some force at this point of the door, it will be easy for you to open up the door. But if you just go, come from the other side and apply some force on this point of the door in order to open it, it will take you a lot of effort to open the door. So you will have to apply a lot of force in order to open the door from this point. So you will immediately be starting to feel curious that why did it take a lot of force to open the door from this point, and it only required a little force in order to open the door from this point. So the answer that you get is the study of torque that you can see here, that this point that you were applying force that required a lot of force was actually near to this pivot point and pivot line, or the door hinge that we are talking about. It was near to that, but as you go away from the this pivot line or a door hinge, you actually have to apply less force. So you actually come to know that the force that is required to create a turning effect. So the first thing that I'm going to write down here is the concept of turning effect. The force that you are required to produce a certain amount of turning effect depends upon the distance from the pivot position, right? So if you, for example, have something like a seesaw, right? And you're having a lot of weight on one side of the seesaw, and you are applying some force in order to keep it balanced. You will have to apply less force if you just apply this force as you go away from the pivot. If you are applying the same amount of force, or you if you want to keep the seesaw in balance and you're applying a force at this point, you will have to apply a larger amount of force in order to keep it balanced. So you come to know that as you move near to the pivot, you need to apply more force. So in order to create more turning effect, like the one we studied in the case of door, or in this case of seesaw, because it is really creating a turning effect, because this box really wants to turn it down anti-clockwise, but you want to apply some force in the clockwise direction in order to counter that turning effect that the mass on the other side is producing, right? So as you move away from the pivot, you want to have less force in order to create the same amount of turning effect. So this turning effect thing depends upon two things: the amount of force the amount of force. If you apply, of course, the greater force, it is going to create a greater effect. Just like in the case of example, if you apply a lot of force, it is going to swing open the door pretty fast, and it is going to create a lot of turning effect. So turning effect really depends upon the force, but not only the force, but also the distance from the pivot. If you move away from the pivot position, you will have to apply less force in order to create the same turning effect. Or if you apply the same amount of force, it is going to create a greater turning effect, right? So just like you saw in the case of in the example of this door, if you just move away from this pivot, hinge, door hinge, then you just if you move away, if you apply the same amount of force, it's going to create more turning effect than it would in the case of applying the force near the pivot, right? So not only force, but also the distance from the pivot, right? So force into distance. So turning effect is proportional to force and distance, and if we just put that in the form of an equation, then this torque thing, which I can represent with this, very stylish curly T, it is going to be equal to the product of force time the distance from the pivot. And the distance needs to be perpendicular. You don't have to, if you're applying some force here and you just calculate it like this, then it would be wrong. You need to calculate it exactly perpendicular, right? So this is the standards we set up. This is the assumptions we take for the calculation of torque, which is a parameter of the turning effect, right? It also goes by the name of moments, right? So we'll be actually taking a look at that. in the upcoming videos how we can calculate the clockwise and anti-clockwise moments about a point. But turning effect is basically the fact that the door actually swings open, and the rate or the the speed or the overall effect or influence that actually caused that to swing was actually the turning effect, and it was directly dependent upon the amount of force and the distance from the pivot. So the torque is defined as the product of force that you apply and the perpendicular distance from the pivot of that force.